In this video, we'll show you how to, without using any custom JavaScript, build a filterable list where the user can type in a query and see the results of their search in a list. For this, I've prepared an app where I've configured a collection with a few people, and I've also added a list view on the page that lists out these people. As we can see in the items property of this list component, the list gets its items from a collection called binding1. And by going to the Data tab, we can examine that data collection. We can see here that binding1 loads its data from the people collection. What I would like to do now is to reconfigure our list to not load items from the people collection directly, but instead loads its items from a collection where we've put only the people that match the filter. To do this, we should first remove the binding1 collection as we won't need it anymore. When the binding1 collection is removed, I will simply create a new collection where we'll store the people that will be shown in the list. To create a new collection, I'll first click on the Add button. I'll use the person model, set the scope to private, and the persistence to temporary. I'll give it filtered items as the name. Now we can head back to the Design tab and edit the items property on our list. Select the filtered items collection as the source collection, and now we'll just finish up the wizard. Now map the fields from our person model to the list view model. What we've done here is change the list so that it doesn't load from the people collection anymore. Now it's configured to load its items from the filtered items collection we just created. With that done, we'll click Save on the page, and let's go ahead and see what happens in our app. Well, now it seems that the list shows no items, which is simply because our filtered items collection is empty, as it hasn't been configured to automatically load items from anywhere yet. As we want to be able to control which items are in filtered items and be able to filter them in any way we'd like, we'll need to manually add all items to the collection when the page loads. Let us do this by editing the after loaded script for the page. In this script, we can simply use the data call query to collection coding block to query items from the people collection to our filtered items collection. By not specifying any filters here, all items will be copied from the people collection directly to the filtered items collection. As always, when working with data in real time, we need to use the data refresh loaded data coding block to refresh the data in that page. Finally, to make the list use our updated data, we need to reload the component by using the UI component reload coding block. Now, let's close the visual coding window and save the page. With this, our items are back in the list. So let's just summarize what we've done so far. First, we created a new collection called filtered items. Then we configured the list view to load its items from this collection. Then we edited the after loaded script to load all items from the people collection into the filtered items collection. With this done, it's finally time to implement our filtering routine by editing the key up event on the text box. We'll follow a similar process as we did before, but this time we'll use the query to collection like block, which will find all items that contain a string we're looking for. We specify that we will query the people collection, and then we'll take the value from the input box and check the name field. Finally, we'll set the result of this query to our filtered items collection. This is going to query the people collection for all items that have a name that contains the value which is written in the input box, and copy all matching items over to the filtered items collection. Next, we'll refresh the data and the component just as before. When we're done, we can close the visual coding window and save the page to test our new filter. As you can see, it looks like our filter is working perfectly. By doing this, we've now built a list that can be easily searched by the end user, filtered via some simple data loading and visual coding scripts.